Hey, all, Baruch Levy B here from Soul Centered in the Defiance Spirit. I've done a couple videos today, and the first one I did didn't come out well. The audio didn't work in certain platforms, so redoing it. And I'm doing it as two separate videos because they're two different messages, and I like when I just get one message. The first message, if you haven't listened to it, the previous video was make a stand in your life to find meaning, make it the defiant stand. And this one is get over yourself. It's almost sort of a continuation of the previous video. But I help people find meaning. That's what I do. It's my why. I help them find deeper meaning in their life and greater purpose for their life. One of the things that I see over and over again, a major mistake people make, is thinking that they can find it only in themselves, only within. Now, I do believe you have to go inwards, you have to do inner work, but I also think you got to stand guard against what becomes spiritual, emotional, self-development masturbation. It becomes really for yourself, about yourself, gratifying yourself. And this is a big problem in our society. I was just on a podcast with a young lady, millennial, and we talked a lot about her generation is been given a lot of mixed messages. And one of them is that Maslow, I guess, is not so new. Abraham Maslow had the needs hierarchy. And at the top of the hierarchy, after you meet your basic needs and your emotional needs, security needs, etc., is self-actualization. But the problem is that's still about you. And Viktor Frankl, my teacher and mentor, and Maslow had a debate over this. I think in the end, Maslow conceded the point, but I imagine he would. And that is that self-actualization can't be the top. If you want to be the best version of you, there must be one more step on the pyramid, and that is self-transcendence, to go beyond yourself. You cannot get to the highest rung of the ladder if it is about you. And one of the things I said in the podcast, I felt controversial saying it. She didn't act like it was controversial, but it just felt in this day and age like it was some radical statement. And that was around the idea, because it was for entrepreneurs, and it was around the idea the best thing an entrepreneur can do. I left being a rabbi to become an entrepreneur 6 or 7 startups later, and a lot of pulling my hair. One of the things that saved me was my marriage, being in a committed relationship, having children, grounding down in community, in a spiritual practice, in all kinds of things. Why? Because they're not about me. Yeah, I get a tremendous amount back from Ariella in my marriage. I get a tremendous amount about being a father. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's about me giving and providing. It's part of my daily mantra and mission, right? Mentioning Ariella, mentioning my kids as the center of my existence, and they ground me and they transcend me. And when I am conscious, responsive, the highest version of each of those, I am beyond myself and I am experiencing true meaning in my life. When I'm counseling somebody and there's too much me, I, and they can't figure out why they're not finding their meaning and living their purpose, we shift away from them and find ways to transcend. Maybe it's through the relationship and giving to another. Maybe it's through a cause, participating in something bigger than yourself. Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem on the level it's created, meaning you need outside energy, right? It's sort of like, I think of if you're hot and you want to fan yourself, you see it like in, sort of movies where they're hot, they're sweating, they're fanning themselves. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? You can't bring your body temperature down because this generates more energy, or at least as much energy as you feel relieved. So if somebody were there to fan you, then you might bring your body temperature down, but you can't create it. And so we need outside energy, something outside of us to fill us up at that level. And that's where that self-transcendence piece comes. It's not about you, but you do get something deep and profound in return. And I've seen it 1,000 times. When I am counseling somebody and we're stuck in the me, we're stuck in the I, then we have to get out of it. And the moment they start putting their attention, their energy on other, something in them starts to begin to fill up. I was just talking with a woman who's, she's alone. She's alone in life. She's older and she's lonely. And she got a cat. And that was one of the prescriptions I had for her. Find something to give your love to. And what has happened is life has returned to this woman, and she's just energized. Um, and it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful to watch because she's outside of herself giving, and she's getting so much in return. I'm working with a company right now, and they have part of their requirements to work there as you must give back 10% of your superpower. It can be your time, it can be working on a program pro bono for somebody else. It's a marketing company, so maybe they're lending their marketing services. It's genius. It looks magnanimous, and it is coming from that place. It's coming from a very good place. This company wants to give back. It's committed to conscious capitalism. However, what they're getting in return are happy employees, happy people, happy clients, a good reputation in the community. And it's just been remarkable to see both this working at an individual level, but also at a global level, seeing when a company can transcend themselves. So whether you're an individual or whether you own a company, think about a pathway to deeper meaning and greater purpose is not by going inward, but going outward, not to focus more on self, either yourself or the company, but to get beyond yourself, to transcend yourself as a pathway to deeper meaning and greater purpose in your life. If you want more, jump over to defiantspirit.org. I have a new ebook. It's complimentary. It's an introduction to the thesis of logotherapy, Viktor Frankl's work, coming down to reaction and response, and you have a choice. And then the Enneagram, the 9 basic ways we tend to react or respond. It's called 9 Enneagram types. Walk into a bar. You won't be disappointed. It's my gift to you. DefiantSpirit.org. Until the next time, defy your number, live your spirit.